Women's health is being put at risk as scientists are ignoring gender differences in research out of fears of being labeled sexist. It has been claimed the majority of early-stage neuroscience research is conducted on men, but the way that male and female brains react to drugs can differ. As a result, some drugs that have been put into production could prove to be less effective when taken by a woman, claims a leading neurobiologist. Scientists are concerned that they will be labeled as a pariah in the eyes of the neuroscience mainstream, according to a guest editor of a special edition of the Journal of Neuroscience Research. One area in which medication is understood to differ between genders is for the drugs that are used to treat stroke patients. Under the current method, scientists are assuming the results can be generalized for both sexes, which could place women's health at risk. It is thought that scientists focused on male brains as hormone levels fluctuate during a woman's menstrual cycle, making them more difficult to study. The article stated that the evidence of differing reactions within the brains of men and women matters fundamentally, powerfully, and pervasively. Professor Larry Cahill, a neurobiologist from University of California, Irvine, said, "The assumption has been that once you get outside of reproductive functions, what you find in males and females is fundamentally the same, and therefore there is no reason to study both sexes, and beyond that it is not good to study females as they have pesky circulating hormones." The last 15 to 20 years has overwhelmingly proven that assumption is false. Others have called into question the need to test both genders, suggesting that there are no significant differences. Professor Gina Rippon of Aston University described some of the research as neurosexism. Speaking in August, Professor Rippon said, "The latest evidence shows that we are all part of a spectrum, so dividing us into binary categories gives misleading results." She told The Times, "A key issue in this area is the large areas of overlap between the scores of males and the scores of females in almost any comparison you might compare to make, to the extent that you might be forgiven for thinking that actually the sexes are more similar than they are different." Professor Cahill claims that he has been warned against studying the difference between sexes as it could harm his career. "Some people start to get itchy though when you talk about sex differences in the brain. That in turn stems from a deeply ingrained, powerful and false assumption," he said. "The heart of the resistance is the view that if neuroscience shows males and females are not the same in brain function, we are showing they are not equal. That is false." The Times reported that another paper published in the journal highlighted a stroke treatment called Lazaroids that was rejected at the final stages of testing as its effectiveness seemed to decline. The authors suggested that the drug may have continued to work, but only for men, and when it was given to women in the latter testing stages, the findings appeared worse as a result.